$50 trillion market with quadrillion dollars of cars and aircraft needing a change desperately. How do you build an aircraft with $0? First of all, laws of physics tell you it's impossible. What sane person would put a child in a flying car? In October 2015, quite coincidentally the exact same date the flying car in Back to the Future travels to, three co-founders, Konstantin, Oleg, and Paul, attempted to do what Henry Ford and many other smart people could not do for 100 years. And one day it all clicked. As I was sitting on traffic in 101 freeway in Silicon Valley, nowhere to go, stuck. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and me, the garbage man, all of us were sitting in the same traffic, helpless against the laws of physics. He simply took the car and he turned it 90 degrees. And we're trying to put more and more. How do you build an aircraft with $0?
I can't. That makes me laugh every time. Such an awkward, long silence. I'm dead. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's stream. Today's going to be a really funny stream. I have a lot of clips and funny things to share. So we have a pretty big squad here joining today. We have your co-host, Anthony. We have Dead Smiles, who was on the last two streams dropping bombs for us. And we have a third bomb to drop. And then we have special guest Mark Berry, aerospace engineer and pilot. Always fun to have him join us. Especially we're going to be reviewing some really fun aircraft. So it'll be awesome to see what your take is. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. We have quite an episode today. So I guess before I get started, let me just introduce real quick the sponsors of today's episode. We have Bright Cat Data. Where is my little thing? I have a new little thing here. Okay. Bright Cat Data is, let me hide that. And I have another new little thing here. Wait, scan the QR code and it takes you to brightcatdata.com, a Canadian real estate intelligence company. If you are doing anything in real estate in Canada, check them out. Get big data. They use AI. They use anything you need. Go to their website and get more information. We also have another sponsor, Celebrity Diamonds 305. Go to celebritydiamonds305.com to get your own custom jewelry, diamonds, gold, whatever you want, some custom made stuff. Actually, I'm working on a pretty cool collaboration with them. I'm trying to get I don't know if anyone would be even interested, but I'm trying to do like a hover jewelry thing. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know if actually I should maybe reach out to Brandon. I don't know if that's even allowed, but that'd be pretty cool. Like a little logo or like the icon of the X7 as like a tennis bracelet, cufflinks kind of thing. And it's so funny. I saw you just posted that on the Discord, Anthony, about that. And Yellow Bat posted like a little cufflink thing. And I actually had that idea like last week and we're working on something. So I don't know. I'll share that when that is coming to fruition. But anyways, we have a fun episode. We have a really con man versus bond man. We're comparing the Alef CEO and also another eVTOL, or I don't even know. I think it's an eVTOL company. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's crazy stuff. We're comparing some crazy concepts to obviously the Cavorite X7, which is viable. iFly, you'll see what that is. We'll get into that. We have some bombs from Dead Smiles about hover that I know you guys all want to hear. Some news about tech. I can't not get to it. I'm a geek about tech stuff in the world. We're just gonna breeze through that a little bit. A little bit of eVTOL news, and then Sight of the Week, a really exciting one. But yeah, so let's get started. Con man versus bond man. First of all, I don't know. I put a poll on the YouTube, I think, and if anyone knows Alef Flying Cars, if anyone's even heard of them, it's quite crazy because as you saw in the clip, they are, he's trying to change the world, and the guy gives real scammer vibes, like Big Daddy here says. Welcome, by the way. Looks like he's happy to see you, Mark. Your biggest fan is in the house. I guess let me just start it. I have so many clips to share. Have you guys ever heard of Alef flying cars before I mentioned it to you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard of them. We went through it once.
Yeah, we did go through it once on a video actually, but you didn't hear of it till then, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's quite interesting because the guy. Maybe I'll play this one first.
I just have a question. Was he really a garbage man? Was that real footage of him as a garbage man, or was that AI?
Oh, no. That was the AI.
Okay, good. Just checking.
But he said that he was a garbage man.
Okay.
But that footage is funny. I chose to clip that because it's like, why are you name dropping? Like, you're on the road with Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. He could just easily say, I'm on the road with everyone. Yeah, I'm just a garbage man. He loves to name drop. You'll notice he name drops Henry Ford and Musk a lot. But let me play this one. I guess this is a good start just to get a sense of like, okay, he claims they're the best-selling aircraft in history, and no one's ever heard of them, you guys. So let's start with this.
What you've got to do to make that happen on the manufacturing side?
That's a good question. So as of today, we have a little bit more than 2,850 pre-orders with deposits down, which makes it the best-selling aircraft in history, more than Boeing, Airbus, Joby Archer, and most of the eVTOLs combined. Producing that, it's crazy how to produce 2,850 of those. Now, we're gonna start slow. And when people think that a million of those are gonna fly above San Francisco, above Barcelona, that's not gonna happen. It's gonna be very slow. One, then more, and then more, right? So the sentence usually goes like this, and usually people hear just the last word in the sentence. Every word in the sentence matters, including the last one, not only the last one. If everything goes right, we plan to, and if we have enough funding, if the laws at least not going to be worse, at least going to be existing as at least regulations, we plan to start production of the first one by the end of 2025.
Okay.
I want to make sure people don't hear 2025, but all the sentences.
So the end of 2025, that's the goal you've got
Not
for
even
production.
end, everything before that, all the
Yeah.
if statements before that also matter.
Yes, yes. Obviously a lot to happen before you get to that particular milestone.
It's actually pretty realistic.
Yeah.
It's pretty realistic. We know where we are. We're doing the flight testing. It's pretty good right now. It's realistic, but those things need to happen.
Definitely. And so in terms of the stages.
So yeah, that's one little clip I wanted to share. Obviously, that was in 2024. He was quite optimistic, and well, haven't heard much about them flying yet.
What's the use case? Is it like he was saying, I'm in traffic and this sucks, I want to go to another lane, so I'm just gonna like fly over everybody? Or is it like my parking spot might get taken, let me fly over there real quick? I'm just curious what the use case is.
No, the use case is that's all they could do with the crane was lift the car up and over the other car in the shot and delete the fucking cable. I mean, come on, guys. This is such bullshit. I like watching that guy talk makes my fucking heart fucking hurt. Like, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
damn,
Stress me
because
out.
I got a lot more to share of him talking.
Oh,
I guess
no.
let's start with.
I hate to rip. I
I
hate to
told
rip
you
on
he's like
people.
he's like the fucking the Mandarin or whatever in the Iron Man 3 movie. He's just like an actor. It's like, what is this bullshit?
Yeah, I want to see him in the next overtaking of the Nakatomi building.
Yeah.
He looks just like the guy from Die Hard.
Listen, guys. If you guys think he's crazy,
Hans
we're
Gruber
gonna
or
get to
whatever.
some other crazy ones. I'm gonna give you a quick sneak peek of this aircraft. Okay, look at this thing. Look at this thing. Okay, it's gonna get quite interesting. But first, let's stick to Alef a bit because I have some more clips that will make your blood boil. Let's see, where should we start? Oh my gosh! All right, I guess maybe this. I really like this clip. This is at the end of a presentation. Maybe shouldn't start with this, but it doesn't matter. The concept of a flying car is going to change your life. And look how he emotionally explains the story. Even they add like violin, beautiful music in the background. Like he is trying to be like some sort of, I don't know what, like revolutionary Steve Jobs, Elon Musk kind of guy, you know? So let's play this clip.
With Alef, we try to move world faster, which means you can do more, which means we can discover cures from diseases faster, which means we can find more ways to feed the hungry.
We can solve world peace, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty endless what you can do with a flying car, you know?
It's true.
Yeah,
It's like more
sure.
comfortable shoes. I got more comfortable shoes. You know what I'm saying? Let's save the planet.
So, you notice how in the beginning of the clip, I also had a part where he's mentioned, coincidentally, they sat down at a coffee shop and came up with the idea the very same day that the car in Back to the Future came, to the future, which was October 21 of 2015. That's the very same day that the company started. What a coincidence. Here's another funny coincidence, okay?
It's an aircraft needing a change desperately. And then we added many other.
Oh, wait, wait, let me play from the beginning.
First person we emailed. We were shocked, but there was actually reasoning behind it.
Oh, my bad. So he says, the first person they emailed invested in them, basically, which is Tim Draper that they're showing in the back. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a billionaire and early investor in Bitcoin, Tesla, and stuff. But, this was a small little peanuts play to him, but whatever. Coincidentally, the first email was they got the investor. And this is the reason why he invested, okay?
Tim saw us as having the right solution to solve a $50 trillion market with quadrillion dollars of cars and aircraft needing a change desperately. And then we added many other good investors.
How does this guy even get on the stage? It's like, what is the stage even in AI in his presentation in AI?
Bro, these name drops.
I would love to see the room that he's actually talking to.
I've never heard quadrillion in any
He
presentation.
probably went to whatever conference that was and was like, hey, I'm here 30 minutes early. Can you just turn on the PA system so I can do some talking and get some video? And there's nobody in the crowd.
Unbelievable. We have more things to share. Let me get to the chat here a little and see what they're saying, if they're liking this or not. We're going to get to hover, guys. Don't worry. This is Con Man, okay? Death Smiles is going to break down why Brandon is James Bond, man. Okay, but we're first going over, comparing the bad, I guess.
The villain of the piece.
The villain.
Yeah.
See what this
Lost in the He says he looks like a Temu villain straight from Central Casting. He looks like, sounds like the guy from Minions. I think it's so funny, that clip in the beginning. One of my favorite clips is the clip of him saying, how do you build an aircraft with $0?
Look,
The answer is you take other people's money.
You'll know he's legitimate when he's doing a cameo in Marshalls.
I have some more. We're going to get to a lot of things. I don't even know where. He has another business that is I'm just going to say it. I don't have to. There's nothing to find about it online, okay? It's something like Super Translator, okay? He's a founder and CEO of this other business. You cannot find anything about it. And what do? They use AI to help humans talk to animals.
Mm.
He's trying to create.
That's got a better chance than what he's trying to promote here.
For
It's
real.
honestly
People love their pets. Big money. That's a quadrillion dollar market right there. Pet stuff.
Yeah.
Get a
I mean,
little
I don't
hat or
know. It's just completely different things, and I really see it as like, I don't know. He's like a kid just trying to live his dream and coming up with whatever imaginary ideas you have. Like, I remember my 80-year-old cousin one time told me, I have a great idea. It was basically like he wanted to have flying cars, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, let's do it. Try it. This guy is actually taking that for real and trying to build the craziest stuff that he imagined when he was young. I don't know. But anyways, here was the epiphany of what made this car. This was funny.
Did something so simple
that nobody in 100 years thought about it. Neither Henry Ford nor Elon Musk, probably because it was so simple. They took a car, they took a regular car, which I just showed you, and they turned it 90 degrees. Now, the exact same shape, by turning 90 degrees, became a biplane. A regular biplane with 0 extra pounds. You have 2 big wings on the top and the bottom. You have also DEP, distributed electric propulsion inside, which becomes one of the most efficient designs for aircraft, which you got from the shape of the car on the ground. And
The most efficient design of an aircraft is the shape of a car. Mark, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's when it turns sideways. I mean, it doesn't make a difference in what orientation a rock is. It's gonna fall out of the sky. So, and that thing's shaped like a rock.
I wonder what the payload is. It looks like 0. That thing's hollow.
That's just it.
Yeah, one person sit in the middle only, no more than 100 pounds. Can't move the whole time or else it falls.
Was that the last clip, or is there another one?
No, there's so many clips, and I guess since you guys are on the topic of safety, well, there's not too many more. I have a little bit more. I guess since you're on the topic of safety, let me explain why. No, this is his reasoning on why this is the safest vehicle of transportation. Okay.
Airplane and the car. But how? So first of all, safer than airplane.
Oh, why is it not? Okay, my bad. Here, listen.
Safer than an airplane and the car. But how? So first of all, safer than airplane because it has not 1, not 2, but 8 completely independent propulsion systems, making it 4 to 8 times safer than an airplane. Never before there was such redundancy of batteries, engines, and the whole systems. And because we designed one of the lightest aircraft, we included the full vehicle ballistic parachute, which will land you very slowly in case of safety issue. It's safer than a car. That seems to be counterintuitive, but yes, it is safer than a car. If you analyze why most cars actually have an accidents, so think about it. First, because 2 or more vehicles try to occupy the same space where this is where collision happens. In the air, you obviously have more space to maneuver. Secondly, because actually the problem is even not hitting another vehicle, but the secondary hit, which is a tree or a curb, and again, something you don't have in the space. And it's improbable case in a collision. You have more time to recover. The fact that you're high is not actually bad, it's actually good, because again, of ballistic parachutes and other systems which we had, which will land you very slowly. So it is actually safer. In addition to what I just told you, we created more than 100 safety features which did not exist in airplanes, helicopters, or cars, in addition to those which it already had.
So yeah, even though you're high up in the air, it's still safer. It's actually more safe because you're high up.
Question is, can we put a deposit on one?
Oh, of course.
Like where do you put a deposit? How do you give them money?
Oh my God. Let me go to their website, I guess. Listen, they have you didn't hear the guy? They have more. They're the most sold aircraft in history, more than Boeing, Airbus, Joby,
all of them combined.
Everyone combined, he said, okay. They have over $1 billion in pre-orders, okay?
We'll take your word for it. It's just as good as his. Next clip.
No. So it's quite easy to get $1 billion in pre-orders, I'll tell you. And that's why, and that's kind of the point to Bond Man, right? Where you don't have Brendan Robinson taking here, let me unshare.
Yeah, he wants hard orders. He wants hard commitments. Otherwise, a pre-order isn't worth anything.
Yep.
Is there ever a question and answer where you can even hear him like responding to somebody asking a question in the crowd?
No, actually, no. There never was. Here on their website, So you can pre-order a car and it's only $150.
Very
Oh,
acute
wow.
observation, Mark.
Wow.
And so it's so low friction. So apparently they got about 3,000 pre-orders. So that attributes to over $1 billion. And hence they are the most sold aircraft in history without even making one aircraft.
Wow.
And you know what? And since we're on that topic, I have a few more things to share. But since we are on that topic of it being the most sold aircraft, I want to try and prove something. You see how it says we're comparing Alef Hover CEO and then my mission to breaking a world record. You guys know what that world record is?
1 billion in LOIs.
I have just created a website. Okay, iFly. Okay, this is the next gen flying car, guys. You can reserve your spot. It's free. Okay, it is free to reserve your spot. Right now, there's only one reservation because it is me. But as you guys reserve, the aircraft is going to be $1 million. And yeah, and basically you just put in your name and all here, put which aircraft you want, you reserve your spot. And if I get 1,000 reservations, I will hit $1 billion in pre-orders. And so in the link in the description, guys, I know it's so hard. I don't even get 100 likes. You know, how am I going to get 1,000 people to reserve? But really low friction. It is free to reserve. I trust that, you know, as I say here, let me read. You're trusting us to build iFly. So we're trusting you to pay for it later. We don't need your money now to reserve because we know that once you see the real thing, you'll fall in love and instantly give us your money. So this is iFly. Is going to be revolutionary. Okay, the designs are unofficial yet, but there will be Alpha, the aggressive wedge, unmistakable from every angle. Beta, the luxury orb, arriving in silence, departing in wonder. And then the best one, Gamma. Gamma is the stealth delta, invisible, inevitable, nothing like it in the sky. Yes,
Wow.
an invisible aircraft. So you get
I
to
want
pick
one
here
of
your
each.
preferred
I'm
design.
going to reserve one of each. Yeah.
You get to pick Alpha, Beta, or Gamma. And whichever one gets the most reservations is the one that we build first. So yeah, check out iFly. Link is in the description.
Even if you make it to like 200 million LOIs, Matan, that's a good achievement. You should be proud of that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice. You know, and you know what? If I get enough LOIs, maybe this, you know, we can build this sooner, right? So this might be a legit thing. I know this is a little bit satire, but
Let's
who
do
knows?
it. Let's do it. Let's build a flying
iFly,
car.
guys. I don't know if iFly is trademarked by Apple already, but I just want to see and compare. You know, if this guy can get $1 billion in pre-orders, can I? Right? Let's try it out. So, guys, check out that link, please. I'm begging. I'm begging.
I think you can. I think
yeah,
America has a spending problem, not an income problem.
So iFly is going to be amazing, but of course, Alef is going to be more amazing because you know what? Alef, apparently, you won't need a pilot's license, guys. Did you know that? He's expecting you to have no pilot's license. This is going to be certified. Look at this. Under the Part 107 drone license. You just need to get a drone license and you can fly this thing. That is insane. Oh, and you know what's crazier? The Model A is going to be priced at $300,000, right? Accordingly planned for 2025. Obviously, they didn't get there. And then for 2035, they had planned the Model Z, which that is not a typo there. $35,000. He thinks with mass manufacturing, they can make these and sell them for $35,000.
Sign me up.
Oh, and the crazier part is that's going to be 4 to 6 person versus the Model A 1 to 2 person. So it's going to be cheaper and carry more people, go more miles, and everything like just better. And you'll be able to take off anywhere versus right now only in whitelisted areas. Look, this guy is delusional. I don't know what to say about it. It's quite crazy stuff.
He's not delusional. He's a bottom feeder.
Isn't there a video of him like talking smack about like the eVTOLs, like saying like they're not flying taxis? I'm a flying taxi. Isn't there something like that?
Oh yes. Where is that? I'm gonna get to that. Yes, that's right. And sorry, Big Daddy, we will get to hover, but I'm so excited to share more about this and some other stuff. If you
My
guys
only
really don't
comment
like it,
is
let me know. But
the richest man in the world came out last year at the third quarter earnings of Tesla being like, our Roadster is going to fly. It's going to be awesome. And we've still yet to see the Roadster. And this was we're halfway into the year. So if the richest man in the world who actually like gets results, is completely revolutionizing the world, can't make it to give us a flying car, how's this guy going to do it?
yeah, and
Amen.
yeah. And look at the reason why he unveiled the flying car. To Anthony's point, he wanted me to play
For 7 years, we were in a secret mode, and nobody except investors knew about us. However, it hurt us. Media start calling eVTOL helicopters flying cars. They get many resources which we needed. So we decided to unveil our car to the world about a year and a half ago.
I just thought that was quite funny. The reason for unveiling the car was because they were hurt that they were calling eVTOLs flying cars. I mean, if you got the real deal, why would you be so hurt by that? Like, I don't know. His reasons are a little silly. There is one clip I'm not going to show because it's a little bit in bad taste, but he always brings up on every presentation that one of the reasons he also started it was, even though it started it way back, was in 2021, his father died. And supposedly they told him if he was there 5 minutes earlier, he could have saved them or whatever. And so he uses that as an emotional excuse of like, oh, this is why I'm building this, to get places faster. I won't play that clip, but it's in bad taste to make fun of that. But, he really gets emotional and gets to all sorts of reasons rather than. And he's also not an engineer or technical in that standpoint. He's actually like a software guy. He's worked at Microsoft, Xerox, actually, even. He's worked at I forgot one other failed company, but that's not the point. Let me play the pilot license clip real quick.
You need a pilot's license for this? Just a regular driver's license? How does that work?
The short answer is we don't know. Probably you will not, because if you can tell, and not a lot of people can, between right, left, up, and down, you should be good.
Okay, Jim DeCo.
Matan, get him on the channel. Let's interview him.
I reached out to him. I'd love to, but I don't think he would want to after this.
No,
video.
he wouldn't.
This is his LinkedIn. So, serial entrepreneur here, founder and CEO of Alef, first flying car, of course. Founder and CEO of Super Translator, animal communication AI software. Founder and CEO of Preza, live online presentation and webinars. I'm not too familiar with that. Founder and CEO of Intellectual Casino, live and online trivia competition. Yep. So that's his background. And honestly, I always find it fishy when people put like all their like CNN and all their stuff on their description here. Like, it's not even clickable, and like, I don't know. It's just.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, I go out, as a single man, I go out to bars, and I end up just sitting there by myself, and then dudes like him walk in, and they're just getting women just flocking to him because he's such a stud. Like, I'm gonna sign up for as many cars as possible based just off this LinkedIn.
This is hilarious. Founder and CEO, DJ Wizard presents nightclub promotion. He created a profitable nightclub promotion business, disrupted San Francisco nightclub entertainment. Have you heard of this, Anthony, here in San Francisco? Have you heard?
Yeah, Anthony, you should know about
Wizard.
this.
Yeah, no.
I
think COVID disrupted the nightclub scene way more than this guy, 1000x.
Another funny thing is how he references to people. So he referenced at one point, and I won't play it, but Constantine, who helped design the aircraft and all, he references him as like a wizard. He's like, he's a wizard. He's somewhere in the crowd if you want to shake the hands of a real life wizard. And then the other wizards are back home. And then let me play this clip. This is brilliant. Look what he calls. I will say
it does take cojones to do press conferences with sunglasses on.
Yeah. Also pretty shady, right?
Yeah.
Look how he calls his investors, okay? Look what he says about
to build a flying car. And so Draper B1 became our friends, real friends who support you both when you're down and when you're up. They should be sitting somewhere right here with Enrique Pinochet as our main friend. And by the way, we're open to get more friends, so please contact us. We're adding more partners also in this field. And so we built a full-size car, and it took off.
Yeah, he's open to getting more friends, and the main friend is over there. He said the main friend, the one who gives the most money. He said that's so funny. But yeah, I think all these little things are just shady.
You think that's his mom's Suburban? I bet you borrowed the Suburban for that shot.
Which one? The one in the background here?
Yeah, that the car keeps
No, no.
flying over.
Oh, the one it's flying over.
It's like, Mom, we need a prop here. Pull your Suburban up right here.
What's the link to buy his chorus? Crispy says. I'm embarrassed for this guy and anybody buying any of this crap. You know what I was thinking? It's only $150. If you do the math, he only made about $500,000 in pre-orders of what is supposedly $1 billion. Okay, super low friction. He could have easily funded it himself, got family and friends, a bunch of people in Silicon Valley. Look, this guy obviously likes making a noise. He obviously likes being on stage and having a whole presentation. He's very emotional with it too. So yeah, really, really shady stuff. Getting these crazy LOIs is pretty crazy, but I just want to try and prove that I can even break his record. So guys, go to the description below and go to iFly. It's free. You just need to put in your email and your name, and you're registered. You will have a confirmation order, and you'll be in line for the best flying car that will come out. I don't know when. I don't know what the design will look like, but it will be the best. So anyways, I think that's enough about him. Before we get into it, looks like Dead Smiles isn't here also, and
he's backstage.
I didn't switch to iFly when I showed the website, did I? Damn it. Oh man. Well, we're gonna go back to Conman versus Bondman because there's another Conman, and it's actually one of my favorites. Okay, this guy is from India. His name is Dahir Insaat something. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I don't need to give him much shining because honestly, he is doing insane stuff. I showed you guys a little bit of it. Okay, this is the aircraft. There's a bunch of aircrafts actually. Okay, there's this, and it actually doesn't end there. There's a lot of crazy stuff. Let's just start with showing you guys. I guess I could just mute it. It's on 2x speed. What are your guys' thoughts as you see this? I'll just have it in the back.
That actually has more validity than the
other one.
previous guy.
Wow, you think so? That's insane.
Yeah, because it's running on a rail where you can distribute the power just like any train. So you could theoretically. I mean, you're not going to be able to carry that many people.
Look how many people. Yeah.
But yeah, if you could have the power system that's still connected to the ground, then you don't carry fuel. You keep your weight way down. You can be very lightweight. So that actually has a tad bit of validity until that thing comes and hits a bird or something. But not that big though. That's obnoxiously huge. Look at the size of the parking lot.
Look at how they flap too. It's just
yeah.
It looks crazy. But honestly, to create that railway is an expensive infrastructure.
It would be yeah. Well, and that's just it. It's like the point of airplanes is to go point to point, not always the same point. If that's the case, just have a rail system. Like, why would you go in the air when you could put probably 3 times the amount of people on just a rail, a high-speed rail like they do in Japan, and serve the same purpose?
Real quick, I see here an interesting comment. Mike Bravo, welcome to the channel. I don't know if I've seen you before, but he says shots fired in Archer subreddit calling hover a scam. They make valid points. Please share. I would love to see links of what that is, and maybe we can digest live here on. I that's not true. Hover is not a scam. So let's see.
Yeah, let's see what they say.
Yeah. So, so what you said maybe could be valid if the company was only working on that aircraft, right? But first of all, in that one clip, you already saw multiple designs, and it doesn't end there. Okay, this is like, I swear they have probably like 1,000 products, concepts. Like, it's insane. And I'm only gonna share a little bit of the crazy ones, but this is another VTOL one. Okay, this is VTOL fire truck. Okay, I guess I'll play a little of the sound. Just hectic. Imagine a hectic city like this. What do you think it's gonna do next?
It's gonna fly up to the fire.
Increasing conditions out on. Okay.
Never seen anything like this. Now tell me what is this? Is this drop a ball? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Valid concept, Mark?
Don't they already have firefighting drones? I think they already have, like China has already developed a firefighting drone, like a heavy lift drone that you can just deploy like, thousands of them around a building and it puts it out. So
Well, obviously they didn't build
anytime
that,
you
but
see these things getting really large in size, the validity goes down. Like, there's a reason why drones are small, and again, it's that whole disk area rule. So if that's the case, just have a helicopter, right? Like, why don't you just have a helicopter fly in? Why does this thing need to drive along the road when a helicopter could just fly it to the fire itself, or a drone, a whole series of smaller drones could fly in? What's this?
look at this. So talking about the larger it is, the worse and harder it is. This is an incredible VTOL, one of the largest ever for military purposes. Okay, look at this, destroying entire fleets. I've never seen any concept like this. Absolute destruction. I mean, the only thing I can compare is like freaking a nuke would be better than this, but just look what you're about to witness. This is insane. Look at this entire fleet of our army. And this one little thing. Wait, did you see how it came in, by the way? Real quick, let me just go back. I'll skip to it. It came in on a truck. Oh, I don't have the very first part. It came in on a truck.
Yeah, I see it.
It said like fresh fruits, and then the truck unfolds to.
Yeah. They need to bring back GI Joes just so that this type of stuff has a following.
Sorry, guys, we're gonna get to hover in a moment, but look at this. This is insane. I mean,
Yeah, it's
I've
called
never seen nothing like this.
An AC-130 Spectre gunship can do the same thing.
What? Something like this exists? Are you serious?
A C-130 gunship is like a huge cargo airplane with a whole bunch of, like, a cannon and a couple of mini guns and stuff mounted on the side of it, and it just circles around the target and just unleashes hell on a target.
Yeah, this thing is literally unleashing hell.
But again, it's already been demonstrated with drones. Like, why do you need something so huge like that when just a tiny little drone can do the exact same thing? Like, look what Ukraine is proving.
This is 5x. They took 5 trucks now.
Fresh fruits.
Yeah, and same concept, but 5 times bigger. And what can you do with that? Even crazier stuff. Okay.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
And this is made by India. Look, dropping nukes, man. Like they have plans for destruction. But
Yeah.
obviously, this will never happen. It's just really fun to see. And then a small version, if you just want to attack, like the White House or something, just a small little
Careful.
van outside the White House
Careful,
lawn.
careful what you say, Matan. Don't say
Oh
the
my
White
god.
House.
Oh my gosh, can't say. I'm gonna get banned on YouTube. Yeah, okay. Sorry, maybe enough of this. Yeah, just complete destruction. Just fun to see.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you know what?
Garbage.
I'm gonna share one more in the background just to give you guys a sense of the crazy ideas they have. Okay, this is not VTOL related, but this company, same company, comes out with the craziest designs. Okay, imagine just an ATV. You're just coming in front of some place. Boom, you just drill a little hole, almost like a water hose. Like a water sprinkler in the ground, and then it knows to detect your enemy, and boom, enemy leaves in their Rolls Royce. And look at this, it's just crazy. They have like 1,000 concept videos like this, which is crazy because they're not even building anything. And that's why I kind of wanted to include him in Con Man, because I mean, it's really fun to see this and laugh at these concepts, and they're really cool. But here, look, boom, targets the car. Just
I mean, that's
fire sprinkler, boom.
That's definitely within the realm of possibility.
Really, that's crazy.
I mean, that's not difficult to do with.
Maybe for Palmer Lucky. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's far more realistic than.
Okay.
Yeah,
Palmer
let's
Lucky
let's
check
get back
out
to
this guy's stuff. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I guess enough of that stuff.
I want to know who's ripping on Joby in the Archer Reddit.
Yeah. Same. We're gonna get to Hover now, and Death Smiles has some stuff to share for us. Is there anything you guys know about the Archer Reddit before we move on? Or
I say we ignore it because everything is very cyclic, and whatever. If people don't want to use deduction to come to logical conclusions, you cannot force them to.
Yeah, guys, I'm sorry if that was long. To me, that was entertaining, and I wanted to share it. And I'm sorry, this is my podcast. At the end of the day, I want to just share, and that's why there's tech news. I want to geek out on some tech news, but we are gonna get to Hover. And if you guys, just give me your feedback. We're kind of removing Garlic Epiphanies now. We removed Aviation weekly. So I'm kind of trying to clean up. I know these are long, but yeah. So let's.
Yeah, the game plan was concise, Matam. The game plan was concise, wasn't it? A package. We were delivering a package today, weren't we?
Maybe we got to do two streams a week, because one stream a week, there's just too much news that goes on, and I got stuff to share, but we'll get to it. All right, that's Mouse. What do you have for us today? Everyone is waiting to know.
Okay. All right. What I want to discuss today is something much larger than the ticker symbol, much larger than the aircraft, much larger than what most people currently understand when they first hear the name Horizon Aircraft. All right. What I want to talk about and walk everybody through is what I believe is a much broader story, one involving aviation history, engineering evolution, strategic positioning, logistics, infrastructure, or what may ultimately become part of a much larger industrial transition taking place globally. Because in my opinion, if you only look at Horizon Aircraft as just another aerospace company, then you might be missing the bigger picture entirely. To understand where this could potentially go, we first need to understand where it came from. You guys need to know more about the history, right? Last time I talked about potential manufacturing places, expanding, and you're looking at that like, well, we need to start somewhere first, right? Yeah, I get that. So here's where this is where this all begins, right? There's a lot of families that inherit money. There's families that inherit names, and there's rare families that inherit a mission. The Robinson family appears to be one of those families, right? Long before today's aerospace startups and advanced aviation concepts, the roots of this story go back generations. Back to World War II bomber pilot, a man from a generation that viewed aviation not as a business, but as a duty, a courage, and a national service, right? That spirit of discipline, engineering, and persistence appears to have carried forward through the Robinson bloodline. From there came Brian Robinson, Brandon's father, a man widely known among aviation circles as someone who could build, restore, repair, and solve almost anything put in front of him. Not simply a mechanic, but a craftsman, a creator, someone deeply connected to aircraft at a mechanical and emotional level. I've said this before on the Reddit. The guy knows how to turn a wrench, right? Brian Robinson became heavily involved in amphibious aircraft and seaplane restoration. Matan, go ahead and share the X3. Where was I? Sorry.
Beautiful amphibious aircraft.
Yeah, so Brian became very heavily involved in the amphibious aircraft and seaplane restoration, including advanced work connected to the Republic CB community, experimental amphibian designs. His work in restorations reached a level of recognition connected to museum grade aviation. Like, he was working on these old seaplanes, and then here comes the Smithsonian wanting to do a piece on him about something he's restored. I mean, like, if you understand what level it takes to restore something to museum grade, that is a feat in itself. That's taking something completely apart, piece by piece, fixing every single piece and putting it back together like it's brand new, right? So preserving the broader historical appreciation surrounding the classic seaplanes and flying boats, the aviation world is small, and reputations like this are not handed out lightly. But what stands out most is not simply technical skill, it's the character. People like Brian Robinson are often individuals everyone else leans on. The man who stays late to help, who fixes what others can't, who gives away knowledge freely, who sacrifices personal comfort because the mission matters more. Aviation history is full of people like that, brilliant builders who spend their lives lifting others up rather than promoting themselves. And sometimes when a father spends his entire life building for others, the greatest thing he ultimately builds is his son. And that brings us to Brandon Robinson. What makes Brandon compelling is not merely his ambition, but his direction. There is a visible continuation of this legacy, a transition from raw mechanical craftsmanship into organized aerospace execution. The same aviation DNA is there, but sharpened through modern discipline, structure, military-oriented thinking, and long-term strategic focus, right? 20 years in the military. Now you see the generational progression here. The wartime aviator, the master builder, and now the next generation aerospace operator. Brandon Robinson appears to have taken the decades of knowledge, sacrifice, and practical aviation wisdom passed down through his father and precious and previous generations, and transformed it into something scalable to the future of aerospace. This is not accidental. Families like this often build over decades quietly, without big headlines, without being a celebrity, and without arrogance. Just work, just engineering, problem solving, persistence, aviation people, right? And perhaps that's the most important part of the story, the humility. Brian Robinson's reputation appears rooted not in ego, but in generosity, the kind of man who helps because that is simply who he is. In many ways, Brandon's rise can be viewed not only as his own achievement, but as a reflection of his father's lifetime of sacrifice, mentorship, and belief in aviation itself. Because in the end, legacy is not measured by what someone says about themselves. It's measured by what survives through to the next generation, right? So now you have a little idea of like when Brandon says, yeah, my grandfather, yeah, my dad, yeah, I was a little boy, 2 years old, sitting in the plane. This is the plane that his dad built, right? This is a plane that he helped build, right? This is in the family blood. Now that becomes incredibly important after understanding that history is recognizing that Horizon Aircraft did not simply appear overnight. They didn't just pop up out of nowhere. This is not a random startup formed by marketers chasing hype, dude. This isn't your pump and dump meme stock, right? This evolved through years of aviation obsession, engineering experimentation, aircraft building, redesigns, failures, iterations, and eventually the pursuit of something that could fundamentally change the way regional aviation operates. Brian Robinson's background in aircraft engineering and experimental aviation became a critical foundation here. Originally, much of the focus revolved around seaplane development, experimental aircraft work. There was an enormous amount of time, energy, and engineering effort dedicated towards that path, right? And that was the path towards the X3. And what makes that important is not that the process itself likely created something unexpected, but at some point, the mission appears to evolve, right? What may have initially started as one aircraft concept gradually transformed into something far larger over the last 13 to 15 years, right? The realization that integrated fan and wing propulsion architecture could potentially solve multiple problems at one shot, like killing two birds with one stone, right? You have infrastructure limitations, runway dependency, regional access, operational flexibility, efficiency. The idea that aircraft may not need traditional airport infrastructure in the same way they historically have is a huge concept when you like really zoom out and think about it, right? Because aviation has always been constrained by infrastructure. Airports determine the access. You're not taking off out of your driveway, right? Runways determine capability. Geography determines the logistics. But if aircraft technology evolves beyond some of those limitations, entirely new operational models begin opening up. And that's where the Horizon story starts becoming much more interesting. As the broader eVTOL and advanced aviation sector begin developing, Horizon's trajectory eventually intersected with Astro Aerospace. Now, this is an important part of the history, the story of how all of Horizon Aircraft has been created, right? Because it demonstrates that larger industry forces were already beginning to move around this. Astro Aerospace would later become associated with an acquisition activity around Northrop Grumman, right? But during that process, Brandon Robinson ultimately preserved Horizon's independence. After merging with Astro, Horizon and Brandon took his IP back. Astro went to nothing, right? Go ahead and put up the chart for Astro. See how Astro's doing now. So he preserved Horizon's independence, redirected the company down its own path rather than allowing it to be absorbed into that trajectory, basically having his IP stripped and taken by this other company. And in my view, that may have been one of the most important decisions in the company's history, because maintaining independent control meant preserving flexibility. It meant preserving the optionality. It meant preserving the ability to commercialize and scale on their own terms. And from there, the pathway towards the public markets began forming. The Robinson family structure evolved. New Horizon Aircraft emerged. The Robinson Family Trust became involved, capital formation accelerated, and eventually additional strategic participants entered the picture, including Dustin Shindo, right? He's a long shareholder now. Now, this is where, in my opinion, the discussion begins expanding beyond aerospace engineering and into something much larger involving the logistics and infrastructure positioning. Because when you start to begin to examine Dustin Shindo, Hawaii, Mahana, Pono Logistics, and the surrounding logistics ecosystem, certain patterns begin to stand out. And to be clear, what I'm discussing here is my interpretation of the strategic implications, not definitive conclusions. But what appears potentially significant is the possibility of early stage positioning around future regional logistics infrastructure. Now, when you think about island logistics, when you think about regional cargo movement, when you think about difficult terrain, when you think about decentralized transport systems, suddenly the operational advantages of flexible regional aircraft platforms become much easier to understand. And then when you begin seeing expanding logistics activity, broader infrastructure development, and public expansion efforts tied into surrounding ecosystem, it raises a very interesting question, right? Now, Matan, go ahead and bring up Amazon's expansion in Hawaii. Now, especially when companies and capital groups begin placing themselves near emerging technologies before those technologies fully mature commercially, like, oh, look, there's Amazon. Oh, look, they're expanding operations in Hawaii. Because historically, that's often how major industrial shifts begin, right? Quietly, before the broader public fully recognizes what's happening. And this is where the discussion begins moving beyond simply an aircraft and company. Because what we may really be discussing is the potential evolution of regional transportation themselves, right? And that brings me to the broader macro thesis, because even everything I've discussed so far, the Robinson family legacy, the aircraft development, the engineering evolution, the corporate structuring, the logistics positioning, that may still only represent the surface layer of what's forming. Like, this is all in the past, guys. We're talking about 2023, 2024. So now you're talking about strategically positioning yourself years ago. Now, of course, I got in right after this. So I've been watching it ever since. And I had the chance to do all this history back then, right? So now this brings me into the chapter 2 of my prior thesis about the industrial expansion, right? And this is something I'm basically titling, in my words, the dawn of the next aviation empire. Now, there's moments in history when the world changes quietly. And then there are moments when entire industries suddenly realize the ground beneath them is collapsing. It's not because somebody made a better version of an old machine, but because somebody built the machine that makes the old system economically impossible to defend. That is the difference between innovation and extinction level disruptions. And I believe Horizon Aircraft may be standing directly at the center of one of the most explosive transportation transitions of our lifetime. Because what most people still fail to understand is this. The Cavorite X7 is not merely competing against a helicopter. It's competing against inefficiency itself. And once a technology begins attacking inefficiency at scale, history shows the market can move with terrifying speed. Now, this is why I posted my $20 price target, right? This is not simply another aerospace company. It's not simply another speculative prototype. This is not another flashy concept video promising some kind of a future, right? We're not the fucking guy selling the snake oil. No, this may be the early formation of an entirely new aviation category, one capable of collapsing the economic barriers between helicopters and airplanes at the same time, right? So if that happens, the implications for this are just staggering, because the aviation industry has lived under the same compromise for generations. Helicopters give you great flexibility, but they punish you with inefficiency. Airplanes give you this efficiency, but they punish you with infrastructure dependency. Now, one system gives you the vertical freedom, the other gives you the efficient forward flight. For decades, the industry has accepted the trade-off is unavoidable, right? And then Horizon Aircraft came along and essentially asked the question nobody else has solved. Sorry, I need to drink a little water here. They asked the question nobody else could solve. What if you no longer had to choose? That question alone could reshape the regional aviation globally, because the moment you combine vertical takeoff capabilities with point-to-point deployment, helipad access, remote area flexibility, efficient wingborne cruise flight, the economics begin changing so violently that entire market structures start destabilizing. And this is where the story really becomes explosive, because disruption does not happen when technology merely improves something. Disruption happens when the economics become so overwhelmingly superior that the old system, it just can't compete anymore, right? That's what destroyed horses. That's what destroyed cameras. That's why we're all digital now instead of regular film. Blockbusters, gone. We're all digital. It's what destroyed piston airliners, right? And if Horizon succeeds, the same pressure may begin moving directly toward enormous portions of the global rotorcraft market. Because let's tell the truth about helicopters, right? They're fabulous machines, but they are brutally expensive transportation tools. They burn a lot of fuel. They require a lot of money in maintenance. A lot of money in maintenance, guys. They experience a lot of mechanical wear. They generate huge operating costs simply staying airborne. And yet millions upon millions of helicopter flight hours every year are not performing exotic military missions. They're simply moving people and cargo from point A to point B. Now, that is the vulnerable market. And vulnerable markets do not remain stable once a superior economic platform appears. Now, imagine what happens the moment operators begin realizing the Cavalry X7 can potentially complete those same missions faster, cheaper, with greater utilization, greater flexibility, and potentially dramatically improved economics. Now, you heard what Brandon said about the lady in the mining business. Highly, highly interested, right? She'd flip them out in a heartbeat if this makes sense. Well, pay attention, guys. He's leaving you the hints. Now, at first, the market watches cautiously, right? Then one operator adopts the platform, then another. Then the numbers start to appear. More routes are completed daily. Lower operating costs, higher asset utilization, higher margins, faster transport times, improved scheduling, fewer delays. And suddenly the industry realizes something fucking horrifying. This is not a niche aircraft. This is not a Joby or an Archer. This is a fucking weapon. This is a competitive weapon. Now picture two operators serving the same island network in Hawaii or Japan or anywhere. Use your imagination, guys. Two guys competing side by side, two operators. Operator A flies helicopters. Operator B deploys the X-7. Operator B suddenly starts moving passengers faster. The cargo goes faster. Medical transfers are dramatically faster. Corporate clients move dramatically faster. Now revenues rise, margins rise, customer preference rises, contract wins rise, market share rise. And the terrifying part for competitors in this is the advantage compounds every day, because transportation businesses are won through throughput. How many missions, how many routes, how many billable hours, how much uptime, how much utilization. Now that's where economic dominance forms. And if one aircraft suddenly performs the work of multiple legacy rotations, helicopters rotating back and forth, taking people to this island, then competitors begin entering this economic suffocation mode. And that's when the panic really sets in, right? Because now every operator begins asking the same question. What happens when our competitor gets one? That single question can ignite an industrial chain reaction. And once that chain reaction begins, the replacement cycle accelerates beyond anyone's expectation. Now, this is where people still underestimate the full scale entirely, because they're still thinking about Horizon Aircraft like a normal aerospace company. But this may not become a normal aerospace company, right? This is the OEM, because this may not become a normal aerospace adoption curve. This may become a compressed global replacement cycle. Now, why is that? Because this is not just helicopter disruption. This is convergence disruption. The Cavorite X-7 may simultaneously attack helicopter transportation, regional aircraft transportation, executive aviation, remote logistics, medical mobility, and portions of the short-haul regional air travel itself, guys. That is a multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure overlap. Now, helicopter operators may want these because they're economically superior for transport missions. Regional aviation operators may want these because they eliminate runway dependency. Corporate operators may want these because they collapse travel friction. Governments may want these because they increase operational flexibility. Now, remote industrial operators, wait, I'm sorry. Let me get a drink. So remote industrial operators may want these because they increase logistics efficiency, right? Defense-linked operators may want these because they combine development flexibility with fixed wing speed. Now think about that. Now think about what happens when all those demand streams begin colliding simultaneously. The demand pressure explodes. Delivery slots disappear. The procurement war begins. Now, I have guys in the Reddit saying, yeah, I'm trying to get on the list right now to buy these things, guys. And in case anybody asks if they're for sale, they're not for sale right now. I've asked, I want to get on the list. I want to get a pre-sale going. They're like, no, sorry, wait your turn. You know, that's a big deal here, right? So when all these demand streams begin colliding, you get the demand pressure exploding, delivery slots disappearing, procurement wars begin, leasing firms entering the market aggressively, governments start securing access, strategic aerospace capital floods toward production expansion. All that money is going to production expansion. Are you starting to get the hint, guys? I talked about expansion in Canada, right? And suddenly Horizon Aircraft is no longer simply manufacturing airplanes. It is standing at the center of a global industrial acceleration event. This is huge. This is huge. This is exactly what Warren Buffett looks for, guys. Now let's discuss what may become the most important phase of this entire thesis, the manufacturing detonation. Because if adoption begins the way many investors believe it absolutely could, then production capacity itself becomes one of the most valuable assets in the industry. And that is where the story truly becomes enormous, guys, because no single production facility can satisfy that. You can't just do Bombardier. You can't just do Bombardier and de Havilland anymore. And I mentioned this in a comment in the Reddit after my first one. You need more, right? You have to manufacture rapidly. It becomes mathematically impossible. So you need to start manufacturing and evolve outward. And then once that realization hits the market, the ecosystem expansion begins, right? Strategic manufacturing partnerships emerge. Regional assembly facilities emerge. Licensing agreements emerge. Licensing and royalties are in my investor package. Joint ventures emerge. Defense-linked production agreements emerge. Sovereign industrial partnerships emerge. Now the model transforms from one company building a plane into a globally distributed aviation production ecosystem. North America demands production. Europe demands production. Asia demands production. The Middle Eastern capital demands production, right? Defense contractors demand production participation. Regional aerospace giants demand licensing rights because nobody wants to miss the next aviation platform cycle. Nobody wants to wake up in 10 years and realize they lost the future of regional mobility to someone else. And this is how industrial revolutions become absolutely unstoppable. Not because governments declare them. I mean, you see the government's positioning for it, but not because the television announces it on TV, right? But it's because economics force it. They force the adoption faster than you can react. You can't do 100 units a year. You can't do 300 units a year. Why? Because you need 30,000 helicopters to be replaced now. You need to start incorporating this wherever it makes the most sense first, and then go from there. So the superior machine begins absorbing all the market. Little at first, right? Like I said, but then violently. And eventually the market reaches the point where the old system no longer survives because it's a familiar system. It survives only where absolutely necessary, right? We talked about there's still going to be helicopters you need for stuff, guys. There's nobody denying that. If I want to go set a power pole somewhere, I get a helicopter, right? It's going to hover there and hold the pole for me for 20, 30 minutes while I set it and get it all backfilled in with dirt or whatever I need to do. If I'm putting something on top of a skyscraper and I need to put an AC unit up there, I'm using a helicopter. They're still going to have use cases, guys. But the majority of them, like I said, just goes A to B. So everything else transitions here. And that's the moment that all of the investors in Hover need to really, really understand for this. This is the long game thesis, right? Because Wall Street historically misprices these transitions in the very beginning, every single time. At first, The analysts focus on cash burn, factory size, prototype timelines, certification hurdles, quarterly finances. But later, if the adoption begins, the market abruptly realizes it's no longer analyzing a speculative startup. It is analyzing the birth of a new industrial platform. And once the markets recognize the platform transitions, the valuations can change with explosive force because the market stops valuing one aircraft, one quarter, one factory, one customer. Instead, it starts to begin valuing global replacement potential, licensing ecosystems, manufacturing rights, fleet conversion cycles, infrastructure transformations, supplier dominance, network effects, and platform scale transportation disruption. That is where the psychology changes completely. That is where investors stop asking, could this work? And they start asking, how big is this going to get? And if Horizon successfully executes, that answer may be far larger, far larger than most people today are even capable of comprehending. Because this may not merely be the evolution of aviation. This may be the beginning of aviation's next empire. And ultimately, what I've discussed tonight is still only a small fraction of the broader picture that I believe is developing. Over time, I've accumulated countless pieces of this fucking puzzle, guys. I've been here researching this for 2 years. I had 6 months where I had nothing better to do, right? Engineering, I've accumulated pieces of the engineering developments, strategic relationships, corporate structures, infrastructure positioning, logistics expansion, technology evolution, capital movements. And when viewed individually, right, many of these little pieces all appear disconnected. But when you start assembling all of these pieces together, they begin like forming this remarkably coherent picture, like crystal clear. And my goal here moving forward is simply to continue presenting all of those pieces as clearly and as responsibly as I can, so that people can evaluate the broader thesis for themselves, really. Because in my opinion, we may be watching the early stages of a very significant transition in aviation, like very early, guys. And the logistics and the industrial infrastructure, it all unfolds in real time. And I genuinely believe there is still much more to come. Really. Thank you, everybody. That's, I think, going to be the end of my little speech for now. I will have to do another puzzle piece for you guys.
Do you want to share? I have up here already the de Havilland field that we didn't get to share last week.
Oh, sure, if you want. I mean, that's just the manufacturing expansion going on Canada. Just another piece of the puzzle, like I said. So, you know, everybody says we're going to go to Bombardier, but if you scroll down to the actual site map, you know, if you blow up that picture right there of the airstrip, you can see that 3/4 of all the facilities around the airstrip are all labeled to be determined. So what it is de Havilland has 6 phases in process. They're building the factory and all the other infrastructure that they need. And then the other 3/4 of that property around the airstrip appears to all be for future expansion. And they have their factory completely on one side of the airstrip, and it looks like there's expansion noted to the south of that, right? Now on the other side of the airstrip, wide open, guys, wide open. So when we get to 2030, and if this thing starts exploding and doing what I've been talking about here, we have somebody we can have manufacture. We could throw up a factory real quick. They want in, or we'll put money at it. You know, you got to see what's coming, guys. And that's just one example. I have more.
Awesome. Anthony, you also have a video you want me to share? Should I play that right now?
Yeah, sure. So basically, anyway, bravo, Death Smiles. That was very good. That was very good. A lot of times people get too tunnel visioned into this and that, but it is very good market etiquette and mental strategy to think long term, you know. So that's what's up.
Yeah. And we'll post that whole clip on the Reddit. I'll post it when Matan has it ready. And then if you guys want to fire fucking questions at me, fire away, guys. Fire away on the Reddit. But
Yeah,
I don't have
real
much
quick
more
too.
time today.
I'll say, you know, Death Smiles, I met you, probably 8 months ago, and you kind of gave me your overall thesis. And at the time, I was a bit like, man, there's a lot of well, not necessarily skeptical, but just like there's a lot of dots that need to be connected. And I think in your 30-minute explanation here, you pretty much just like connected all of those dots from 8 months ago. So excellent, just an excellent summary.
Awesome.
And I can't agree with you more.
A lot to me, dude. Appreciate it.
And just for reference, if anyone's curious, Mark's conversation with Death Smiles, that original one he's talking about, was actually on the live stream. So it's one of the very first lives, or I don't know if it was a regular video. I kind of forgot.
I know the first time we talked, it was in private, and we discussed Bombardier and the expansion going on with the other facilities surrounding it. And, you know, I had another spot also that was unconfirmed, and it ended up being Mitsubishi. You know, that came to light after we kind of hit Brandon with the Bombardier question, right? So, like I said, guys, I got a lot more, but let's just do it one piece at a time here, so I don't lose everybody.
No,
I'm gonna see if
think
I can make a playlist of every time Death Smiles was on the show, because I don't put it in every title, because we obviously have too many people to put the titles in, and just too many
it's a lot to
topics.
type out. I can just speak it and be done with it. And
Yeah, but people really like to hear what you have to say, so maybe I'll organize a playlist and you guys can hear him.
yeah, listen in the car ride to work or whatever you want to do, guys. That's what I always do. I listen to Jim Cramer.
Nikki said, love Death Smiles' enthusiasm and insight. He's done a lot of research. Thank you. Awesome. And yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoy that. So we're going to keep things going on here, and we're going to keep also having more reports like this from Death Smiles and talking about Hover each week. But yeah, we have a little more from Anthony here. Let me pop this open.
Yeah, so basically, I thought this was interesting. Somebody posted this and I liked it. It's a video going over Pratt Whitney, the organization. And I thought it was interesting because I was thinking about that Phil Kelly interview that the guy asked him about partnerships. And Phil Kelly said, we have current partnerships to build the full scale, but we're definitely, interested in, completing partnerships for the future for when we get the full manufacturing and everything. So, maybe Motion Applied is in the future picture, like maybe or maybe not, right? So they have certain partnerships now that have a certain end and a certain purpose, but they have certain partnerships now that are going off into the unforeseen future, which is Pratt Whitney, the PT6 engine. So, they dropped that video on their YouTube that, they pulled out of the box, and Brandon's dad talked about it, how you can get one fixed at any country on the planet easily because they're all over the place. And I really liked this video because we've looked at Bombardier and they've done the jet skis and the Sea-Doos, and it'd be cool to have the Cav X7 in their catalog and all these things, or the X5 or whatever. But we know but that's just speculation, right? But this we know for sure. Like, this is for sure in the catalog, right? So it's cool because as this video starts running, they talk about the thermal signature of the PT6 itself, which aligns with the spy plane aspects of having the low infrared and all that stuff. But then it just goes into all the other stuff that the PT6 has been in. And I thought it was cool because the final chapter of this video, if they dropped this video years from now, the CAVX 7 would also be in this video. So I thought it was very interesting to kind of tie all that together. So yeah, let's watch it.
Okay, I'll play it with the audio, right?
Please.
Along its length will divert any ice or foreign debris. Since the hot gases vent to the front, the PT6 has a low infrared signature. The exhaust is split to either side and then mixed with the propeller slipstream. Its free turbine design makes starting it easy, even in temperatures as low as -40 degrees Celsius. It also has low windmill drag should this extremely reliable engine ever quit. The company changed its name to United Aircraft of Canada in 1962. Its parent company renamed to the United Aircraft Company. 45 experimental engines were built for the PT6 development program. Tests included running the engine under various conditions, testing the engine structure, evaluating saltwater ingestion tolerances, and multi-fuel capacity and performance. As a result of its saltwater testing, it was qualified as the only marine-capable gas turbine in its class. A flying test bed was also used. A Beech 18 was modified by de Havilland Aircraft of Canada and mounted a PT6 on the nose. The engine's performance was evaluated up to 30,000 feet. After all the testing was completed, the engine received its certification by both the Canadian Department of Transportation and the American Federal Aviation Agency in December 1963. PT6A is the original turboprop variant, producing between 500 and 2,000 shaft horsepower. The difference comes from added compressor or turbine stages. The engine is easily one of the most popular, reliable, and efficient turboprops in the world. The PT6B is a 1,000 shaft horsepower turboshaft variant, designed for helicopters like the Augusta-Westland AW119 Koala. It has a different gearbox and linkages tailored to mounting a vertical rotor shaft. The PT6C is also a turboshaft variant, but this one puts out 2,000 shaft horsepower and has a single side-mounted exhaust. This can be found on helicopters and tilt-rotor aircraft like the Augusta-Westland AW609. The PT6T is an interesting one. It's called the PT6 Twin Pack and consists of two PT6 driving a common gearbox. This could produce up to 2,000 shaft horsepower and made its way into the Bell 212 and the UH-1N twin Huey. The Huey was almost rejected by the United States Air Force in 1970 because of its Canadian engine, issues around support for the Vietnam War, and the Americans' preference to buy locally. In the end, they purchased over 350 of them. The ST6 was originally developed for the UAC turbo train. This was an advanced high-speed tilting train in its day. The turbo train was powered by multiple ST6s, each designed to put out 300 shaft horsepower. They ran from 1968 to 1982. Two ST6s were also fitted to the HMCS Prador hydrofoil for testing before the much larger Pratt Whitney FT4 was installed. The ST6 was also considered for stationary designs like high-speed snowblowers, portable wood chippers, fracturing units for oil field production, and generators. The ST6L73 is a derivative of the ST6 designed as the auxiliary power unit for larger commercial airliners like the L1011. Each of these engines have multiple variations. More compressor stages or more turbine stages can be added depending on the desired horsepower. The PT6 turboprop engine has been fitted to a dizzying number of aircraft and helicopters. At least 135 civil aircraft,
Yeah, this is fine.
20
This is
military aircraft, 15 civil helicopters, 10 military helicopters, and 1 train. It's also the auxiliary power unit for a large number of commercial airliners. The amazing PT.
Yeah, so, just like Phil Kelly said, people could swap out whichever PT6 they wanted for whatever mission set or whatever. And just like that guy was saying, they got a bunch of different PT6s and stuff. But I just find it interesting that, it's like they got it in boats, they got it in trains, they got it in wood chippers, they got it in snow blowers. It's like, it's cool because, hello, they do have, this is happening. You know, like Pratt Whitney and Horizon Aircraft is a thing. So it's like, it's cool. Like one day, you know, they'll come out the video and be like wood chippers, snow blowers. And then it's like Cavorite X7, you know what I mean? So, and it's funny too, because it adds a lot of color to what Desmiles was talking about the advancement of the Canadian aerospace aviation ecosystem anyway. So it's kind of like all these things kind of align up. And it just seemed really interesting. All right. A lot of people hadn't seen it, I didn't think. Excuse me.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Death Smiles, Mark, you guys have any comments or anything you guys want to share about Hover before we move on?
No, man, I think I'm hovered out on my talking. So I'll answer any questions in the Reddit later.
Sounds good. All
Later, bro.
right. So let's get to some other we'll tie this into Hover right now, actually, a little bit of tech news. First, I guess let me play this short little video. The tech news I want to share is Airbnb. I actually really love Airbnb. Great stock, great company. And this has no video audio. Okay, there we go. This is a awesome video of basically new products that they're launching. So check this out. This is honestly going to be a really cool game changer for Airbnb. Oh, I don't know if I could play the audio because of copyright. Damn. So I'm just going to play the video and explain what's going on here. But they are adding a lot to their app, to their services. They started off with homes, and they're doing way, way more now. It's really awesome. As you can see, car rentals, groceries. You're going to be able to do so many things. They added last year services where you can, book a chef, hire a masseuse, all sorts of things to your Airbnb. And, they're the full one-stop shop for travel now. And in fact, they're making things a lot easier. They're making so many changes. And honestly, this is just an amazing company run by an amazing founder. I really, really like this company. Just they're doing awesome stuff. So just wanted to share this because this is a really cool product launch that they had. And I really like the company. I'm pretty invested in their stock. And they're a really big company with not a high PE. And I think they can honestly be $1 trillion with their market cap. I'm just going to play this little video of the CEO. And this will kind of tie into what I wanted to mention with Hover.
It took us 16 years to finally expand beyond homes. It took us 2 years to develop service experiences. It took us 8 months to develop groceries. And it took us only 2 months to develop luggage storage, airport pickups, and car rentals. So basically.
So this was him on TBPN earlier this week. He's explaining how it took, them so long. Their first business was just homes. And just like Hover and every eVTOL company, even Tesla, they just started with the Roadster from 2008 until basically 2013, 14. They launched the Model S, and now they're just launching products nonstop, right? Even SpaceX, they're launching rockets almost every day. Their goal is to launch one every hour eventually. Starship, right? Which is insane. Oh, I don't even know launch. They want to build one, I think, every hour or launch. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. That would be crazy to build one every hour, but I think they want to launch one every hour. All right. Anyways, yeah, that's enough about Airbnb. So also on some other news regarding SpaceX, actually, just wanted to quickly share. This was an absolutely incredible. Did you guys get to see the news with SpaceX this week?
About the IPO, it's what, June 7th or 12th or something, or is there other news?
No, Starship rocket. IPO is big news, and we spoke a little about that, but no, their Starship 12 rocket, it's actually quite legendary because, well, it isn't like their past rockets. From Starship 1 to Starship 12, nothing is the same. Absolutely everything about the rocket pretty much is different. There's the only thing that's the same is the amount of engines, I think at the bottom, which is 33. But the engines are completely new. They're the Raptor 3 engine. It's the very first time. That's the big thing. Also, as you see, when it comes back intact. It doesn't actually, all the past ones that come back and land, they look all beat up and unusable. This one is is usable. In fact, they actually destroyed it though on launch. But if you see the pictures, I don't know if it'll show here. The rocket looks really good, and it's basically like they finally reached their goal. Like this was one of the more, this was one of the best tests they had, and honestly, always awesome to see a rocket explode. Sorry, the quality here is low, but all right, enough about SpaceX. I know you guys are here for eVTOLs, and I'm losing the crowd fast. So, yeah.
That's
Aside,
because I'm doing my hover.
Yeah.
Oh.
Aside from that, last piece of news, just wanted to share. This was super cool. I don't know if you guys saw. This was the robot from Figure. It just completed 200 hours of work nonstop. Pretty crazy. Pretty big thing in the robotics world. All right, let's move on to some eVTOL news. Vertical Aerospace making some strides. Quite a lot of news for them this week. Vertical Aerospace selects Hyundai, WIA. I'm not sure what that is, but Hyundai, I guess that's a segment of Hyundai, as landing gear partner for its Valo eVTOL aircraft. Also, Vertical Aerospace advances hybrid electric testing and battery production with 2 key milestones. On Tuesday, they announced the milestones represent continuous progress across vertical propulsion and energy system programs, both of which underpin the company's all-electric and future hybrid electric aircraft roadmap. So good stuff for Vertical Aerospace. Honestly, Vertical Aerospace has been popping up on the news quite a lot. I've been seeing. All right. Also, eVTOL Insights. I don't know if you guys got to see this. We spoke about this last time. Brandon Robinson was here presenting. And yeah, this is just a little video. I'm not going to play with the audio. It's just playing music. But it looks like they're finally going to be releasing all the videos from the conference. This was the conference we spoke about last time. Brandon Robinson was talking. I don't know if we'll see him in any of these here. But this was a really cool conference of all eVTOL leaders in the industry, where they also announced Hover as the best place to work in the eVTOL industry. So very cool stuff. Last news for the eVTOL sector, we have Eve Air Mobility. I feel like I've been talking about Eve almost every single week now. Amazing stuff for Eve going on. Oh, it's not popped open on screen here. Okay, there we go. So yeah, Eve has completed hover and low speed flights block, advancing its eVTOL aircraft toward transition flight testing. Eve Air Mobility has announced the successful closeout of hover and low speed flight block in the flight test campaign of its full scale engineering prototype. This milestone reflects Eve's discipline, building a I'll close that, of building a block approach, which expands the flight envelope step by step and validates models, control laws, and aircraft behavior against real world data before moving into complex tests. Yeah, so pretty big milestones achieved by Eve and Vertical. Awesome stuff. And yeah, that's kind of it for eVTOL news. I guess we're almost done here, wrapping up with Sight of the week. Unless I missed something that you guys have to share, anything on your guys' end? What are you guys' thoughts on any of the eVTOL news? I mean, you know, good stuff for them, I guess, but you guys don't care. You just want hover news.
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I you know.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Sight of the week, really exciting one here. So this is Stellar Jet. Have you guys ever heard or seen Stellar Jet?
No.
So actually, this is an aircraft that you can already pre-order, interestingly enough. How much is it going for? This is the first hydrogen-powered regional aircraft. And their aircraft looks a lot like Lilium, actually. Looks like it's not loading up their pre-order. I don't know how much it is, but, you know, not the biggest fan of the aircraft, but the aircraft looks beautiful. I'm just not sure if hydrogen powered and taking pre-orders is the right approach for right now. But I really like the name Stellar Jet. I really like their logo. Their website is quite simple, but it does the job. So, you know, nothing bad about it, honestly. But honestly, you guys don't care about the website. So I'm just going to focus on the aircraft. And as always, the websites I'm always going to showcase are just eVTOL related. So we're still sticking, you know, to the concept here. But yeah, so look at this. This looks like Lilium. This looks honestly like they just stole Lilium's design and just made it better, more sleek, like fully titanium or something. Obviously, these are just renders, but it looks so sleek. What do you guys think? Have you guys, what are your thoughts on this thing? It looks beautiful.
Yeah, my first thought was it did remind me of Lilium. I like it. It's like a Cybertruck meets Lilium. I like it.
Yeah, Cybertruck meets. Well, I wouldn't say it's a truck of the skies, but it's pretty damn awesome. Look at even the interior, all these little design. Oh, look at that! Wow, honestly, just beautiful. Mark, are you seeing this? What do you think of this aircraft? Have you seen this aircraft ever? Is Mark still with us? Actually, not sure. But yeah, just wanted to showcase Stellar Jet, beautiful aircraft. I don't know if they're gonna be, you know, successful or even having a prototype anytime soon, but definitely awesome. I don't know how they're learning from Lilium's mistakes, but it is good to learn from the mistakes. So I'm assuming they are doing something different. Well, I guess hydrogen, right? Luxury on hydrogen wings. So maybe that's their approach that's going to really be the game changer. But then that depends on actually getting hydrogen to become a real thing and become their, you know, their power source, right? Just like for Alef, he mentioned many times actually how, oh, and I like this, how they show where it goes. Alef mentioned many times how right now the batteries are not enough. We can only fly for like 5 minutes, right? But he's hoping and waiting for batteries to get better and better. And I guess, of course, that's why they didn't launch in 2025. But, you know, he's basically made an aircraft and just waiting for batteries to get better. I don't know if that's what they're doing, and that's what maybe a lot of people are doing. But I can tell you one thing: iFly is going to be a reimagined. Okay, you guys don't even know what's gonna come. Okay, and that's because I don't even know what's gonna come. But this is coming. All right, flying cars are coming, and maybe iFly will not be it, but it is absolutely free. So guys, place your reservation. Okay. If you're trusting us to build iFly, we're trusting you to pay later. So we don't need your money right now to reserve, just because we know that once you see the real thing, you'll fall in love and instantly give us your money. Look, I know you guys probably think this is a joke, but I actually genuinely want to try and see how many hypothetical pre-orders I can get. You know, this is priced at wait, do I not have? I got to put on here. Okay, I'm going to change the website and mention that this is $1 million aircraft. And so each one who adds, you know, reserves a spot, that is $1 million in pre-orders that I have. And I want to break the world record in pre-orders. So that'd be really fun. But yeah, all right. So yeah, this was a really fun stream. Like, all jokes aside, you know, all these aircrafts and Alef scammy clips of him on stage and just everything. I enjoyed this one a lot. This was really fun for me. I hope you guys did. Please let us know in the comments if you guys did, because I do want to make more of this, but I know you guys want just straight to the point. These are long shows. I mean, we're almost 2 hours.
I will say, I did like how you held artistically to the James Bond thing at the end of the Alef thing, because you had the shooting the guns and everything and the limousines blowing up, you know. So I did like that. I did appreciate that artistic aspect to it. Yeah, I definitely think, you know, we're transparent. We're a transparent organization here. You wanted to say something, Mark?
Mark is back.
Sorry, guys. I'm on mute. Sorry. I've got so much static in my headphones. That's why I swore. I apologize.
Yeah, we're a transparent organization here as well. You know, we got different options. You know, people could, you know, it doesn't really matter what people's opinions are. We're going to do what we want, but we could even, just keep it tighter. You know what I'm saying? Like just, people want to know about hover stuff. We can just keep it real tight and stick to that, and then we could just hit the play record button and do something else and drop that later or whatever like that. Because we're just clip farming anyway. You know what I'm saying? Well, we're doing 7-hour streams, loading it up. You know what I mean? So it's like whatever, but the other guys ain't got time like that, and nor do the general public. So we could tighten it up. Just like you say, we're always fixing one thing every time. We can make it better. We will make it better. Amen.
I'm glad to hear the feedback from anyone and iterate as we go. But at the end of the day, I do want to come sit down and do something I enjoy, and that's what's gonna make me keep going, right? I'm not gonna do something I don't enjoy. So I do want to branch out to all these fun topics and stuff. And whether you guys like it or not, I don't mind. I like our small community and small channel. I'm not trying to appeal to the mass audience, so to speak. Otherwise, I would not be doing 2-hour live streams. Who's watching that? Mass people are not going to watch 2-hour live streams. So, but I totally get and appreciate the people who do, and the hover investors listening, and even anyone else interested in eVTOLs and these other companies. I mean, my goal is, just to shed a light on the space and all these other companies doing interesting stuff, whether it's just giving the news or, I really enjoy Sight of the Week, just showing a company that no one's ever seen. I could keep going on and on about those. There's so many. And they're really cool. This space is really visually cool to see these concepts, just like we showed that, this is insane. I mean, this is just fun to, I guess it's just fun to watch. And we'll see how it goes. Let us know what you guys think. Mark, did you have something to share before we tap out of here?
Yeah, real quick. Just fantastic summary both by Desmiles and what the video about the PT6 as well. I personally think, just from an aerospace engineering perspective, Horizon's hitting is hitting that market need. They say if you go out in the middle of the woods and build something that the world needs, the world's going to build a road to you. And I think what Desmiles put together in his 30-minute explanation was pretty much nails that note. That the world is about to see just a completely different, just a huge transformation with mobility, and how we're going to go from driving around and being stuck to the earth to flying and being up in the air a lot more. So it's an exciting time, and if you're an investor, now is certainly the time to get involved.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Mark. Anthony, was there any, there's a lot of comments here. I don't know if you've been reading them. Was there anything you want to highlight or share? I didn't get to, there's so many comments here, actually. I didn't get to.
No, let's see.
I know there was some comments about the Reddit and Archer and this Pelican report. We had addressed that. We had a whole video on that. So you can check back on the lives. It's much, much earlier. But regarding
that's all old news to me, man.
Yeah. It's good to live in the present, not in the past.
That was last year. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Should I end with an outro video of Candy Clown Plane, the Candy Cloud Plane song, since this was a funny video about aircrafts? I don't know. Is that too much? Should we end it with an outro? What?
It was a funny video?
Yeah, there's a funny video. I don't know if you've seen it. I guess we'll end it with
the airplane that was exploding with candy all over and stuff like that.
Airplanes that are constantly melting, though, kind of give me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
As an aerospace purist.
You know what? Then I think I should play it, because this whole episode was about the heebie-jeebies. Listening to that Alef guy and that Indian guy's company.
Send us out on that.
Yeah, just if we all could just say something at the end. Plus, I think multiple personalities, everybody cohesing into one, artistic or strategic or informative communication. It all dovetails as good as it does, and eventually it'll just keep dovetailing better. These things don't have listen at 2x for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember the last time I listened to anything at normal speed myself personally. I'm just zooming in and out. So everybody always has that opportunity. These things are documented and so forth. So that's very good. And as far as Horizon Aircraft's going, very happy for the week that they had. Amazing. I'm actually very happy because just like Death Smiles always cues me into, just like he was talking about with Warren Buffett, it's that prediction of the future and placing yourself there, just like the football player throws it to where the guy is going to be. That ability,
Absolutely.
right? It's one thing to,
and you nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's one thing to predict the future. It's one thing to predict it and plan your actions accordingly to put yourself there. That future thinking is the difference between everything, right? Like people that are stuck in the past are psychotic and neurotic. If you're stuck in the present, you're coping, you're living, the human experience. But if you can predict and act as far as your organization, we can say organizationally into the future and place yourself there, that is very powerful. And I really like tying that in. I really like the stage of the story that Horizon is in now, because the way it's all playing out now, one of the things Brandon's been saying a lot recently is technology works. Ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody's worried about technology working anymore. Now it's looking at the different organizations and it's like, how you guys gonna make money? Like, you know what I'm saying? Then he always says, this ain't no, if you build it, they will come approach. It's, we know what they need. We build in what they need. So we got that foundation to propel ourselves into the future, these correct spots to be in. So, and when we interviewed him, I asked him, what's the make break pitfall point for an aerospace organization? He said they got to get certified and they got to prove financially viable routes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you can make money and you certified. Okay, cool. And like other guys, I don't know, maybe they're figuring it out, whatever. But I know these guys, they know their shit.
Beautiful, Anthony. We did not get a garlic epiphanies today, but we got a banger right there. I will clip that. And yeah. Any last words? That smiles, Mark Berry, before we wrap it up.
No, man. Good. I just say good luck, guys. It's going to be a volatile couple of weeks, couple of months. I mean, it's going to be crazy. I mean, it's a high beta thing. So what goes up comes down. It might just shoot right back up in again before you even able to catch the ride again, kind of a deal. You know what I'm saying? So like I said before, you gotta be right twice if you're gonna try to sell and buy it back. So it's gonna be so up and down. I wouldn't chance that shit, and I'm not. Like I said, I'm holding long. I got my portfolio up in that thing I posted the other day, so people can look at what I got in at and what I've actually paid. Don't let that deter you, but there's a long road ahead of us, and I've done a lot of research and I kind of saw it all from the beginning, and I got really lucky getting the amount I did for the price I did. Okay, simple.
Yeah, and to add color to that, just I would have people on the channel go back and look and see what the stock price was just a year ago, and the price action it was. We were sub $1 and questioning, oh man, are they going to have to do a split? And what is that?
I mean, it was a lot of blind faith back then. I mean, I was digging and digging, but you're right. It was a lot of just like, holy shit. And when Christmas happened, it was like, all right, I can kind of get out of this a little bit with my ass and still save some shares in case it goes crazy.
Yeah.
But then as it went down, it was kind of like, oh, what am I doing? I need to get more and more conviction, more research. It's just, you end up putting all these puzzle pieces together over time, and it's really hard to comprehend the big picture until you have it all laid out in front of you.
Agree. And if you start looking at bigger picture, a year ago we were sub $1. We've already tested 450, and so maybe this year is the $1 to 450. But as soon as they get into the fives, then you start getting institutional investors can start getting involved as well, and much bigger players can start just by rules investing.
I agree, and I think
the market cap of this company is still small.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of people that are waiting, and once that 5 hits, that's why. I mean, we might rocket to 20 and then fall back right through a fucking hole to 8 or whatever, right? But we'll end up going back to 20 eventually, guys. Like we went to 4 and we came down and we had some terror and whatever, and you know the bears jumping in and shorting the hell out of it. Now they're so underwater shorted. What's going to happen next? Now they're going to have to cover. Then institutions are going to get in. It's going to ramp even faster. It's like look at the big picture, guys. All the pieces are coming together.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing, bro. Life is either haphazard and uncontrollably random, or it's predicted correctly and executed, and the things occurred on purpose. And you can compare organizations and companies. Some things are, you know, maybe communicated this is on purpose, but words speak loud, actions speak louder than words. They can say this is all planned, but the actions all appear very haphazard. Or you can say this is organized and planned, but you look at the actions of organization number 2, and their actions are also very organized, right? And so people are seeing that, right? Just because like Brandon, he was like, because when we asked him, you know, like people being jaded and turned about by unethical microcaps, you know, diluting them into the ocean and, you know, feeling like they're being lied to constantly. Like this thing is a healthy looking organization as is, you see. So it's like the ethical custodianness of what they're doing and the transparency is just beautiful. Like that's how winners operate. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, just like you, Matan, you like Andrea Mocellin, you know, a person's personal characteristics and their intention, their history, their views of life, they manifest through their work, right? You know, look at the Walmart guy or something. You know what I mean? Look at Andrea Mocellin. His aesthetics, his personal aesthetics and view of life manifest through what he is doing. And you know, we got you know, 00 Cavex 7 Brandon Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy is good. You know what I'm saying? And the whole thing's beautiful. And it's like the whole crew, right? Because like there's this one thing I was thinking about. Okay, people are like, how are they going to do Fiki? And I'm like, yo, these guys built airplanes like with low technology decades ago, right? These OGs, right? Kirk, Tom, they built clean sheet aircraft before. These guys did it when you had to do it with your hands, and like, you know, you're using like, you know, prehistoric tools or something like that. You take these guys that got the hard-won know-how on how to make things with older technology, and you give guys like Brandon's dad and all these dudes higher advanced technology, simulators, all this stuff. That's where you get pushes in creation, right? We're lucky to have guys like that around. You know what I'm saying? Guys that have this decades of knowledge to pass on to the young guns under 30 to keep the torch burning. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get Fiki certified, right? That's how you figure it out, because everybody's like, they got the fan and wing, we got lift. Now they're like, oh, now we're going to show you guys how we're going to bleed it. You know what I'm saying? How we're going to bleed it, bleed the PT6 heat, how we're going to go all weather. So I'm like, people are like, can they do it? I'm like,
man,
yeah, they can do it.
Right? Like that was all weather. You think they don't know how to do it? They're sitting on a fucking sheet of ice. Oh, so fucking right in front of everybody's face. It's ridiculous. All right.
Another thing about Fiki too is there's multiple ways to do it now. You can use, you know, use boots, you use bleed air. You can now use electrical energy with just hot blankets. You can use thumpers. You can use TKS, which is you spray a liquid. There's multiple different avenues to get Fiki certified.
I assume they're going to do the bleed air. That would be my thought anyway. It would keep a weight out of the wings, and then, you know, air doesn't weigh much. You can pump it off the engine pretty easy, good to go. But hey, we'll see what they do, right?
Yeah,
it's a good question for the next interview. We should set that up.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't want a bunch of extra wires or like a heating element. That's just wiring in the wing, right?
Information, yeah.
So, you know, air is light as hell. All you got to do is some kind of plastic tubing at that point that's good for the thermal, and that's it, you know? So.
All right, boys. We said we're going to do a 1 hour stream, and still we're incapable of that.
Oh, Gene said it was there. Nice.
Oh, he said it will be Bleed Air. Oh, awesome. Okay. Didn't know. Thanks, K-Dean. K-Dean, isn't that also Greek? I think that's Greek. That's Gus. Anyways, we're going to wrap it up here. I appreciate everyone listening. I know this is a long show. We're going to try and condense it a little more. Maybe we'll try and go a little twice.
We'll help you with that, Matan. You got. We'll help you with that. I'm telling you.
Let's see. We'll get there.
We got the formula, man. You just got to listen to us, Matan. I got you.
We're making it better and better. I got to maybe just stop doing silly stuff like iFly, right? And that was very unnecessary. But honestly, hey guys, come on, sign up. I want to break a world record. Like, let's rub it in this guy's face so we can pass his pre-orders.
We'll help you with the flow. It's just like a movie. It's got the same formula. You know, you got the intro, you got the protagonist comes in, then the damsel in distress part, then the dip, and then the climactic aspect. It's all, there's a formula to everything.
Yeah, we'll get there. Awesome. Well, Death Smiles, Mark, special guest, thank you for joining. Thank you, Anthony, co-host. And thank you to the sponsors, special sponsors, Bright Cat Data and Celebrity Diamonds 305. Thank you guys for being the sponsor. And if you guys want to sponsor the show, just hit me up, and very easy. So yeah, enjoy the outro. There is a what did you say? A heebie-jeebie style Taylor Swift AI unofficial music video. This is going to be very funny about airplanes. So I hope you enjoy if you haven't seen this yet. And as always, guys, until next time, stay thinking, question everything, and peace out.
Built a plane out of pine wood boards, taxi slow with a creaky roar. Pilot said, let her go, let's see. Then the wing said, not for me. It rolled one lap and lost a wheel. Still tried to act like it was real. I was laughing in the grass when it kissed the fence and passed. Then a sugar plane came low, all sprinkles, all show. Cotton wings in the sun, baby, here it comes. Candy cloud plane up again. Candy cloud plane spinning grin. Gummy bear wings and a licorice tail. Candy cloud plane soaring off the rails. Hey! One was made of gummy bears, chewing through the open air. Berry nose and lemon fin, flew 3 blocks and dove back in. Another had a waffle nose, pancake body, tiny toes. Took off, fun and lost its zip, dropped a syrupy little flip.